Hi guys, Redneckcomputergeek here, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different than what we normally do on this channel. Normally here on Redneckcomputergeek we normally deal with modifying lawn tractors, we normally deal with off-road mudding with lawn tractors, stuff like that. But this time of year it's getting cold. I live in Maine, it's good to know some emergency stuff. So let's talk about a few emergency things when it comes to your furnace. One thing that I'd like to point out that happens to a lot of people is that, you know, you get behind on bills, you miscalculate, you think you're going to have enough oil to make it through until Friday when the delivery's coming. It's Wednesday, all of a sudden your wife or girlfriend, they call you up. Oh my God, the heater's not working, blah, 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 blah. And you say, it's okay, honey, I'm going to come home and I'm going to fix it. And you get home, and you knock on the oil thing, and it obviously is empty. Where do you go from here? Well, you basically have two choices. Well, three choices. One, you freeze all night, everybody in the house is angry at you, and you try and survive until Friday. Two, you call your oil company, you pay for emergency delivery, and nobody ever lets you live it down. Three, you're the hero for the day. Here's how. What most people don't seem to realize is the fact that heating oil is basically the same as diesel. Most heating oil setups you can run off kerosene, you can run it off straight truck diesel, and if you have kerosene-based lamp oil, the descented, it'll run off that as long as it says kerosene-based. So right there, you've got three options. You know, if you've got a halfway decent shop, you've always got kerosene around anyway. You use it for cleaning off grease, you use it for cleaning up parts, you use it for making sure stuff doesn't rust. So you're going to have kerosene on hand. Diesel, you've got a truck. Just go siphon a few gallons, drain it, get it up and running. The other one I'd like to point out is at the end of summer, when you see like the dollar stores doing their summer sellouts and all that kind of stuff, they don't want to store anything they don't have to. Buy up Tiki oil. The Tiki torch oil will burn like you have never seen this burn before. It burns so hot. It's amazing. But it's only an emergency thing. So, buy up Tiki torch oil, have a kerosene lantern with kerosene on hand, and you'll always be able to fire your furnace. Diesel fuel. If you have a diesel truck, you have a diesel tractor, you have a diesel anything, or the Citgo gas station has diesel just down the road, go grab yourself a couple of gallons of diesel. The other thing I'd like to point out is that a lot of people end up having emergency tank failures, the line breaks, all that kind of stuff. If you want to get your machine up and running in a real quick fashion, you can take a 5-gallon jug, you can put just a regular gasoline filter right on the tip here, put about 1.5 feet worth of regular, usually what I end up using is I usually use fuel injector line or high pressure fuel line, and the reason for that is because it doesn't degrade as fast as regular line does. You probably could be fine in a pinch with regular line. Really should be fine, but I usually use high pressure line. So you put about 1.5 feet on, and then on the side of the jug, just put an old gas cap, an old lawn tractor cap, whatever. Drill a hole through. There you go. There's your fill station. And just hook it up with a couple of pieces of copper line and you're good to go. The other thing that I'll point out is your furnace basically just runs off of an on and off. You've got a thermostat. Your thermostat comes across, it hits, it causes it to turn on. Once it warms up enough, it comes loose and it causes it to turn off. It's really that simple in most places. If you have an electric thermostat, well, the sensor sits there, and when it hits a certain temperature, it creates the current flow, and when it stops being at that temperature, it shuts it off. It's that simple. In that case, you really, in most circumstances, don't even need a thermostat in order to kick it over in an emergency situation. All you do is just find your two primary control wires and just short them together, or put a toggle switch on it. It's great for garage use that way, which is how I ran mine for the last 1.5 years of this channel. So, there's my couple of helpful tips as far as dealing with the furnace in an emergency situation. Also, train yourself on how to be able to bleed your lines as far as the furnace is concerned. Every furnace is different as far as its kickover switches are concerned. Most of them are usually the power box on the right hand side, but look up your particular model, teach yourself how to do it so that when you're in an emergency, you don't have to be trying to read through users' manuals then. Thanks guys, and if you have any other types of fluid that you know for sure will run through a furnace in the event of an emergency, please post them in comments down below and I will add them as hyperlinks through the YouTube interface so that other people are capable of finding an item. Yeah, here's my list. What can you add?